To continue with our tutorial, basically from Windows 7 or Windows XP to Mac OS. For most of you, since you're used to Windows, when you right click, you're going to get this menu that basically allows you to get some options, and basically those options are like it will say name, it will say size, like you see right here. It will say modified. In order to organize something on the Mac, there is no right click. On the Mac, there is no right click unless you tell it to you want a right click. On a Mac, a right click is 2 fingers going down on the touchpad, and then you get this menu like this. This is your right click on the Mac. That's one of the major differences between the Mac and the PC that you'd have to get used to. In a little bit, I'm going to show you how to make you have a right click, but right now we're just going to say there is no right click, and it's just 2 fingers down. On the PC side, when you right click on something, you normally get a menu that says name, size, type, or modify. With this, with the Mac, you get this kind of window where you get new folder, get info. Get info is something that you would, if you wanted to see how much memory something is, like I can go here and I can go to get info, and it's going to show me that this folder is 420 megabytes. That's kind of neat. That's something that it's kind of harder to get to. You have to open the folder on the PC side. Now, when you're used to organizing stuff on the PC, you're going to organize stuff by name, size, type, and you would get that right when you right-click on something. On the Mac, it's a little different. When you right-click on it or double-click, you have to double-click, remember? Double-click, you have to click clean up by name, kind, date modified, date created, size, or label. Now, you guys notice that your icons are going out of order and they're all going over. Right, remember, right-click and you do arrange by whatever you want to arrange it by. Okay. Another big difference between Mac and PC is control panel. For Windows, you go to the control panel, which you would click the start menu and click control panel, obviously. With the Mac, there is no control panel. So you would go to the Apple signal up here, you would click System Preferences, and then this is kind of your whole control panel of what you're used to. We've gone over the desktop screensaver already, so we don't need to go over that. We've gone over the dock. But one of the things I do want to go over is we talked about how there is no right click on Mac. But if you wanted to have a right click on Mac, you would go to the mouse, and if you had a mouse plugged in, it would allow you to fix that right there. But since I'm using a laptop, I'm using a touchpad, so then you click the touchpad. I wanted to show you guys that because I know some of you are going to be confused if you use a Mac and you're using a laptop and you don't have a mouse, how would you do this? Or if you're using a mouse, so it would be the same thing. Now with the Mac, you either have the smart mouse, which with the smart mouse you do have these gestures. If you have a regular mouse, don't worry about these gestures. So yeah. But in order to add a right click to the Mac, you have to go to point and click, and now you look right here, you have this secondary click right here. So right now I have it set up as the secondary click is with 2 fingers. Now the secondary click is the right click, and they just say secondary click. Now with the trackpad, it's click in the bottom right hand corner, which would be normally for a PC. So if you want to do a PC, you would do this. And then when you clicked on the right side of the trackpad, it would end up being secondary click. But my problem with that is you may not actually do that all the time. So I still do click with 2 fingers. That's all preference. Like I said, I would rather have it the way it's default. But yeah. Okay. Another big difference between Windows and Mac is the way the system will automatically on the Mac defrag itself, clean up itself. You know how on the PC you're used to having this menu where you can do a disk cleanup, you can have a disk fragmentation, you can clean the PC. With a Mac, there's no such tools. But if you wanted to see what you have on the Mac with the capabilities of that same kind of menu is you would go down to your Launchpad. Now on your Launchpad, you're going to have this other over here. Now these are your system tools on a Mac. On the PC, you had the disfragmentation and you had all this other stuff. At the Mac, you have these. Now, all this stuff you're not going to use. I'm just going to go through some of it because some of it you really don't even want to look at. Some of it you may want to look at. Now, the DVD player is something that would play DVDs. It's kind of like QuickTime if you add it to Mac, or on the Mac you can use QuickTime, obviously. Time Machine is a backup software that's on the Mac that allows you to back up your computer on a different hard drive, external hard drive, or like an internet site. I recommend external hard drive. I would recommend backing up your Mac just in case, like on your PCs when your hard drive would get fried. On the Mac, I'm not going to say it's not going to happen, or if it will happen. It's more reliable on the Mac, but I would still back up your stuff. It's recommended. And then you obviously have the game chess. Stickers is the thing I was talking about before, where you can add stuff. You can add little stickers to your hard drive, to your desktop. And then image capture is something if you wanted to add photos, you would click image capture. Network utility is just a thing that allows you to change your name on the network and shows you what strength is. Now the one thing I do want to go over is what the activity monitor is. Activity monitor is something you would get like on the PC if you did Control-Alt-Delete. On the Mac, you would get you have this activity monitor, and it's the same window that you would basically get on the PC if you did Control-Alt-Delete. Now that brings up another big thing of difference about the Mac. If you look at your keyboard right now, there is no Control-Alt-Delete. So how do you do a Control-Alt-Delete on the Mac? That's a good question. So if you want to do Control-Alt-Delete, what you're going to do is you're going to click Command-Option-Escape. Command-Option-Escape, and this is going to bring you up this Force Quit application, which is just like your Control-Alt-Delete program on the Windows side. This window allows you to force quit anything that does go non-responding. Of course, you're not going to use this as often on the Mac because the Mac is more reliable than the Windows, but this is just in case it does happen, because it does happen, but I'm not going to say it's going to happen as much as it does with the PC, but it all depends on what you're using, and if you're using a slower computer with less RAM, it's going to most likely happen more. So that's the difference between the Windows and the Mac. And this concludes this quick transition from Windows 7 to Mac OS Mountain Lion. I'm going to make more movies in the future and talk more about individual programs on the Mac. Probably I'll be talking about iPhoto, iMovie, and Safari, and how to set up your mail calendars. If you have any tips or any suggestions on how to improve this video even more, post a comment below. Thanks again.